Hello. I run a lot of video 8 tapes for customers, and very often they're not left at the start of the tape. So I could rewind them in a player that's about to do the transfer, but that can be a bit slow, as well as introducing extra wear on the equipment. So I have two BE-V8 rewinders, and they can also erase tapes, which I don't use very often. These are Sony devices. They didn't sell very well because they were so expensive. I think they were around about £250 or so new. So most people didn't bother to buy these things. I have two and I use them extensively. Now, a few weeks ago, one of them broke down and I've had a look at what's gone wrong with it, and it just got worse. So I'm in a bit of a pickle. Let's have a look at this thing. So here it is dismantled. Now, I'd made a small modification anyway when I first got this. I've got a couple of LEDs in it which light up the inside of the carriage slightly, and I find that's quite useful because I can tell if I've left the machine plugged in. I don't run them on batteries, though they can run on a set of batteries in there. I find that's inconvenient, so I normally have this plugged into a mains adapter. Those lights stay on all the time if the machine's powered up. Now, with this removed, I'm just connecting 6 volts up to the input connections at the back here. We have a power supply for that in the workshop, and right now this unit's not really doing much. If we take a closer look inside, I'll just switch off the power. Underneath we can see a couple of drive belts, one of which can require changing. I've had to change one of those in the past. There's a lot more in here than you might expect. So at the bottom there, the board contains what appears to be a microprocessor. There's a front panel board and a rear board. And something I want to mention here about the erasing facility. I don't like the erasing facility. I very rarely use it, because it's actually done by swinging this permanent magnet out to the tape, and I don't think that's a great idea because I think there's a risk of magnetizing heads by using a DC magnet there rather than a proper AC coil. Anyhow, this one is completely dead, and I don't think I've got much chance of fixing that. Whilst trying to work on this, I think I also managed to snap a piece of plastic, and I'm not sure which is associated with the erase feature. So you can, when you're doing fast forward or rewind, you can operate this erase switch, and provided the record tab is not set to safe like this one is, then it will erase the tape during the rewind or fast forward cycle. And I think I've managed to snap that, but I'm not quite sure which piece of plastic I've broken, but that's yet another problem. So this one's looking a bit past it. Now, I'd love to buy a replacement, but they don't come up on eBay very often at all. They're pretty rare things, and I've seen them go for absolutely silly money. So the other day I actually found not one but two on eBay. So I'm putting sort of holding bids just to see how I got along, but of course I've got absolutely no chance at all of getting either of them. So unless I can get hold of another one of those BE-V8 rewinders, I'm a little bit stuck.
Special delivery.
Oh, thank you. Not one but two. This one apparently is brand new in box, never come out, and this one is described as untested, so we can take that as read that it doesn't work. But yes, I put in some eBay bids and actually managed to win both for very little money, about £15 each including post. Bargain. Let's see if these work. Thank you, Scott. Right, so here we have the new one apparently. Operating instructions. I mean, you put the tape in, you press rewind and fast forward, and press the erase button if you want it, you know. But there we have it. Oh wow, that really is in wonderful condition. That really does look absolutely brand new. It's almost a shame to use it. That's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's connect up some power and see if it works. DC, it says 6 volt DC in, center negative. And serial number is 300442. The one that failed there was 300300 and something. So I suspect the 300 is like the model number, and these are the actual serial numbers here. So numbers are very small, 400 odd when they built this one. Right, let's rig up some power. Okay, I have 6 volts on. Let's see if it... we need to flick the on-off switch at the back. Looking good. It's a little bit slow to get started then, but then it's been set in a box for some decades waiting to be used. It's a little noisier than some of my machines. Got a little bit of a graunch to it. Let's see what happens when it gets to the end. Well, despite the very slight noises, that's beautiful. I like that. Just a slight graunch to the gears, but and this particular tape is a little sticky going in and out. It could be the tape's fault. Okay, we're ready to use that one. Let's have a look at the untested one. Right, this is missing the lower cassette hatch, which I could take off the broken one. It's not that important. Switch it on, see if eject works. So far so good. It actually loads slightly better than the other one. Again, that took a moment to get started. So that's going forwards and backwards. Excellent! I wasn't expecting that to work. It's actually quieter than the other one. I do like my LED modification, but I feel too bad about doing that to the brand new one. So I'll do it to this, and it gives us a chance to actually see the mechanism working. So I'll take it to pieces and let's have a look inside. Right, now we can see how it's supposed to work. So it takes some of the tape out to the front there. During the rewind and fast forward operations. And then this is rewinding. There's eject. And let's show... Why am I struggling? Why are we struggling to close it now? A piece of the front has fallen in. We need to fish that out. Okay, that's a piece of the cabinet work has fallen in, so that's my mistake. I'm going to go to the end of this tape and then I'm going to demonstrate the erase feature. Okay, so I think if you operate the erase button when you press fast forward, then it starts erasing, and this light will come on. I don't know if you can quite see that. Make it so you can see that. Oh, it didn't, and presumably because this tape has the record safe switch, now we should be able to do that. There we are, the erase light is on. Now press fast forward, and now it's erasing the tape as it goes with that permanent eraser magnet thing. So it's not my favourite way of doing things. Watch it swing across. You hear the extra motor step as it moves that magnet across. I'm not sure I agree with the logic that if you've just fast forwarded a tape, when it gets to the end, it thinks, oh well, in that case he probably wants me to get back again. I'm not sure I agree with that logic. It would make sense, I suppose, if you've used the erase operation, so you've set it to erase mode going forward, and then you want to rewind the tape to use it. I can see that, but if you've just selected fast forward, you probably want to get to the end of the tape, not the beginning, and you have to catch it at the end and stop it. So slightly odd logic there. Okay, that's all working. I think what I'll do, I'll fit the LEDs and battery hatch from my defective unit so that we can have it light up. So I'd fitted these LEDs in this cabinet work for the other unit many years ago, and it seems that one of the LEDs has failed, so I'll adjust that problem. I may alter the resistor value to stop that from happening again. Okay, I've fitted the cabinet from my broken unit, which had this low serial number of 213. The cabinet from this original actually was 432, so very similar to the new in-box one. So those serial numbers are extremely low. It implies that the volume runs on these were tiny. This goes on when we fit the lid, and I'll show you that in a moment, but let's just test that everything's working now. So my green lights are on, so I can see when the unit's powered up. And it would appear that I've got a connection problem because the unit's not working now. So this section delivers its power to the main body via these springs here. Well, we have our 6 volts there. Should work. And if we apply our 6 volts here, then it works. So it's some silly connection problem. Check it again. Right, so to reassemble this top, we have to do that eject, then put this into place, and the screw holes here line up with those, and then this sits under there and holds it in place. It feels like Sony didn't want to drill and tap holes in here. They did it with plastic to save money. That's what it feels like. Okay, that's it. Reassembled. Final test. You hear that little shuffle as you power it up. The one thing I will say about these is if there's a lot of tape slack, for example, when sometimes I've wound the tape using my demolding machine under very low torque, and the tape is on the spools okay, but not packed in the way it would have been if it just been played, what can happen when it rewinds, it leaves a small loop of tape which will then get slightly caught up in the door as it closes. So if there's a chance that the tape is extremely slack, it may be better to rewind it in a camcorder or other video recorder, but for nearly all cases this rewinds the tape just fine. A quick look at the instructions. Before operating, please read the manual thoroughly. Okay. You know, really, it's such a simple device. Quick advance and rewind, auto rewind at the end, which I don't think it should have. Auto ejecting, yes, okay, erasing the whole tape. So as we know, we can run it on 4 AA batteries, but it's a bit heavy on the batteries. I did try to run it that way, one of them. So there was a specific mains adapter for it, ACD4. Unless that's used for other products as well. Something for 12 volt operation as well. It's kind of admitting that you might use a product that's not Sony supplied, and I will of course be using a different power supply. And this is as we expect. It won't erase a tape if the tape has the safety switch switched on. Specifications, complete with a typo. Excluding batteries, I think that's supposed to read. And then the same thing in various other languages. Oh, here at the front we can see the year that the product came out, 1985. Now, of course, one thing these BE-V8 units can't do is give you any indication of the running time of the tape or where recordings are on the tape. To have done that would have effectively meant building almost a complete video deck in there, which these things were expensive enough already. So if you want to know the running time, you really need to rewind it in a real video recorder or camcorder. And you can see this Hitachi unit here has a real-time counter. Now, even then, if you're rewinding it in a machine such as the EVS9000E, and there are some others, they have a turbo rewind mode, and in that mode the tape is unlaced, and again it won't give you any timing information. That turbo rewind mode, by the way, on the EVS9000 and similar is, depending on the running time of the tape, sometimes faster than the BE-V8 machines, but there's not much in it. Well, I'm really pleased with that outcome. I've gone from having a non-working machine to 2 good working ones, and these are really super low serial numbers. I suspect they were all very low serial numbers. I think it was a very low volume product because it was just too expensive. Now then, I wonder what my next YouTube video is going to be about.
There's another package.
Oh, now this could be useful. You remember I was working on a Sony Beta video recorder, SL0320, and I became stuck because I couldn't get the service manual for the exact model. Well, from America we now have SL0320 service manual. So this will have the correct schematics for the due sensor electronics, whereas I came a bit unstuck on that video recorder. So next video about that. In the meantime, please remember to like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll do a lot more content on audio and video technology in the near future. Bye for now.